Hello, and welcome to the Wild Wild West podcast. My name is Richie Riche of the MHRT Network. Over that away is DZ repping his Los Angeles Chargers. And down there, we got Nabman repping his Las Vegas Raiders. We got a great show for you tonight. Quick little recap. We're going to go over a little bit of the Super Bowl because you kind of got to, right? It's kind of, the most important game of the season. And then we're going to jump right into some of the Raiders news in particular with their new addition there at the head coaching position. And then we're going to finish off the show a little bit here to just kind of touch a little bit, not go super deep into that, but just a little bit on free agents on our team and like three guys that we know are free agents that we'd like to bring back. And as always, we want your comments. We want your feedback. So get those keyboard fingers ready so we can get those comments displayed on screen and talk about them here live on the show. Quick housekeeping here, just as we start the show. All of us here have channels in some way, shape, or form. We ask that you go ahead and jump over to those and like, share, and subscribe from those as well. And if you are in those channels now, click those thumbs up button. It helps us reach more fans just like you. You hear other content creators and everyone say FTA. It could not be more true. Getting folks to like and share and comment really does help get the algorithm flowing in our direction, if you know what I mean. So we will go ahead and jump right into the show, guys. Let's talk Super Bowl. Nav, I'll start with you, and then I'll go last. So let's kick her off.
Well, this has got to be short and sweet because it was kind of so. What did I call it, Richie? I think I called it 37-17, and I said most of those 17 are going to be scored in the second half from the Patriots, and it wasn't that wasn't the score, but damn, it was pretty much the way I predicted the way it would go. That Seahawks held scoreless 3 quarters in the Super Bowl hasn't happened for 30 years. Wasn't that what it was? 30 years ago or something like that it happened? Or it was even further back than that. It's crazy.
It might be further back. I think it's further back than that. But yeah, I think you're right.
I had that. Damn it, I should have pulled that narrative down, or that screenshot down. But anyway, shoot, it goes back a long way to the early time of the Super Bowl, man. And that right there was an amazing defensive performance. Amazing. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball. Drake May had no time to do anything. I think he was pressured 13 times and sacked 6 times. It's crazy. And they were everywhere. It was just nuts. And one thing I did say is that if they take JSN away, now granted, I think he got a little nicked up, but if they take him away and Kenneth Walker away, then it might be a ball game. But they couldn't take Kenneth Walker away. So,
and I think he was rightfully crowned the MVP of that game.
Oh God, yeah, had 26 yards on receiving and 135 rushing, which is that's a Super Bowl elite running back day in the Super Bowl. So, and oh, by the way, here's what I always said. Last year, I wanted Kubiak as our head coach. Okay, if I had a message to send to Kubiak, it'd be like, I wanted you last year. However, that would have been a fatal mistake because, one, you would have not won your Super Bowl and been able to bring your ring into the building. Right?
No.
And two, you probably would have been fired. So I'm happy that we got him this year, not last year. So there you go. That's my Super Bowl take, and I'm sticking to it.
All I wanted to see was the Patriots get destroyed, and they did.
Yep.
I seeing them get to the Super Bowl, I was like, what script is this? Like, there's no way that Robert Kraft's Patriots, Vrabel's second year, Drake May, all this MVP talk. We saw him all playoffs. We saw how he performed all playoffs. We're like, this isn't happening. And, look, Richie and I's team screwed the pooch, right? Like, could have been the Patriots in there. I mean, it could have been the Broncos in there,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of Bronco fans are probably like, we would have put up a better fight than what the Patriots did. And it was, I wasn't really into this. I wasn't really into this game. I just wanted to see the Patriots lose, and they lost. And Drake May looked nothing like an MVP that his fan base tried to gaslight the whole league into thinking that he was supposed to be the MVP over Matt Stafford. Yeah, okay, good luck. I mean, I don't know if you guys were on X or anything, but Sam Monson got eviscerated for coming out and saying that he gave a first place vote to Justin Herbert in the MVP voting, which then entailed had the whole Patriot fan base and other fans come at him. Pretty bad. The guy's got balls of steel, dude. He's actually from Ireland and is a football. I actually have for the last 2 years. He puts out he breaks down games every week, pre and after, and I watch his stuff. I forget his channel right off the bat, but he does a really good job. And I don't watch a lot of guys because some of them I feel like there's a lot of biases towards it. And the fact that he did that, I mean, he set up to be, attacked, but he's, it lasted a few days. People were probably chilling on him, but he was right. I mean, it's. I mean, did Herbert deserve that MVP vote? Probably not, obviously, but
he had to vote for somebody, and if he did that, he took one away from freaking Drake May.
Yeah, but I mean, look, there was also two votes for Josh Allen. And, those people stayed anonymous, which he said, you should please don't come out, because somebody got a hold of his number. They were calling him, texting him, stuff like that. Oh, that's nice, Ed.
It's Ed's New Year's resolution. Apparently, he's going to be nicer this year. Cool. We'll see after the draft if that continues.
But
look, I've always liked Ed. Like, he's always been a good guy. I've always liked him, man.
I think I called him a grump once, and then I was like, I didn't see him for a while. I was like, oh man, I hope I didn't upset him. But the Patriots had I think one of the easiest schedules that anybody can remember. I mean, it goes back farther than I've been watching football, and and then you saw their path through the playoffs in the AFC, and there was huge caveats to each team they faced. And especially in their last one against the Broncos, no starting quarterback. It turned into a snowstorm. The score was pathetic.
Right.
So I'm glad that the Seahawks won. I wasn't rooting for either, one or I'm not a Seahawks fan. I called this. I think I said months ago, I was like, oh, the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. And then I was like, well, at least it's going to be an NFC team that wins this, just because I watched how the NFC was playing comparative to the AFC. And I was right in that aspect. I didn't think the Seahawks were going to get over the Rams, but they did. And good for them. But yeah, man, we'll see. I don't see the Patriots, unless they do some magic this offseason, getting back as far as they did this year, next year. Not at all.
No, I agree.
Yep. So, Richie, what you thinking?
I expected a little bit more domination on the offensive side of the ball earlier for the Seahawks. I thought that the Seahawks had enough weapons to flip seamlessly back and forth between the run and pass game to do a little bit more damage than they did, especially in the first portion of that game. I thought that what they were going to do was run kind of a 5 or 10 scripted plays to determine if the Patriots were going to sell out on the run or try to play a balanced attack. And then I thought that they were going to No, actually, Tantino or Tinio. No, although I have heard that Robert Kraft is potentially fond of the Asian masseuses that are leather bound in some way, shape, or form. Allegedly, nothing but allegedly. Yeah. Just say it came up, maybe kind of, sort of. But I just expected a little bit more control on the offensive side of the ball from the Seahawks to kind of play coy a little bit. The Seahawks were the superior team. Their defense was out for blood. It was exactly what I expected to see. And even on the defensive side of the ball for the Seahawks, I actually expected more aggressive blitzes.
They didn't have to.
No. They got home and they caused enough damage, but I truly thought that the Seahawks were going to do what I wanted the Broncos to do because their defensive line is actually bigger.
Yeah.
Like, they are physically larger humans on the defensive line of the Seahawks. And
I thought that
as well. Yes. Yeah. Well, the Broncos have some pretty decent experienced players on the D line.
No, I'm sorry. I meant the Seahawks defense. Like, their defensive line more experienced than the offensive line of the Patriots is what I meant.
Sorry. If you're talking A versus B, yes, I completely agree on that. Yeah. And so my general thought is that you're going to see an intentional overload on the D line, from the D line of the Seahawks, because the Patriots offensive line has actually struggled for the majority of the season with pass protection and whatnot.
Yes.
And Drake May is
Campbell in particular. Will Campbell, their star left tackle.
Right.
Playing devil's advocate, they did play some really good defensive lines or some defenses in general. So there's that.
They did. Their defense was on point. I mean, they held them to 3 straight field goals. I mean, crying out loud, the defense played their butt off.
I'm not saying they didn't. I just expected more overloads. Things to really basically, let's put it this way. If you overload a side and get to the quarterback and cause 3 and outs really early and cause a young quarterback like Drake May to get skittish fast, real fast, right. You then force the Patriots to capitulate to your style of football. And you've owned the game at that point. You are done. Like, the other team is over because they're having to play to you, not you play to them. And I kind of felt that the Seahawks didn't do that, and they had the player personnel. Look, they owned the game. There is no disputing that. Like, the Seahawks owned that game. But I truly felt that they could have not just owned the game, but dictated the game better. And that's really that's really where I was at with it.
Well, and just to double back on that, I feel like McDonald was like, okay, if we take away the running game from them, I'm pretty sure we can get Drake May anytime we want. And they did that a lot. Look, I'm going to tell you what, Devin Witherspoon was not far from being the MVP of that ballgame. That dude was in the backfield corner blitz on a lot. He was in that backfield a lot. Now, do you agree with that? I mean, Witherspoon was in the backfield constantly. I mean, it was like they were daring Drake May to throw one. Daring. We're going to take away your run game. Let's see what happens. And I think that's the way the Seahawks were. And then once the Seahawks realized that the defense just had them with rushing 4, then they're like, okay, we will take those field goals. We'll take that. Because eventually – Patriots are going to have to get a little bit tighter up to the line. They're going to have to start, making some plays. And Darnold hurt them a couple times. You know what I mean? Even with, JSN going out. Did he end up with a concussion? I don't know I know he got nicked up though.
I think he was towards it. Was it the second half? He got drilled pretty hard. He folded over
he was in the tent for a little while, but I don't think he was quite right after that. And my whole point of the game for the Patriots to be able to win was you got to take away Njigba and Kenneth Walker. And Kenneth Walker was running all over them.
Yeah. Oh, Njigba was out for a concussion, and it took them a secondary evaluation to allow him back into the game.
Is that what that was?
Okay.
Yeah, and so he was pulled for the secondary evaluation because the NFL, honestly, like they've been slammed like pretty hard this season for like almost ignoring concussions for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think they did not want to. Well, it's not like it's like anything new, but especially this year. And I think they didn't want the Seahawks. They tried to make it a game, really, is what my honest opinion is.
I mean, that's that was like what we were trying to say is like the Patriots are going to get down and something's going to happen in the second half, and they're going to try to get these guys rolling again. And thankfully, the Seahawks stood on business and handled it what they had to. But,
well, I mean, the last show we talked before the Super Bowl, we all agreed that this is going to be bad for the Patriots.
Yeah.
This defense is for real.
Yeah. Would you say that are we in agreement? I mean, Richie might not be, but that the Seahawks are probably the number one. Were they the number one defense in the league last year?
Overall, they were. Overall, they were. Overall.
There were categories where the Broncos were number one, and there were other categories where the Seahawks were number one.
So think about the Patriots.
When you grouped it all together, though, the Seahawks had in totality, they had kind of a higher ranking as a result of grouping everything together.
Yeah, and that was also if you include the playoffs as well, because they trashed everybody they played in the playoffs. So it wasn't even a game in the playoffs. So so you lump that all together, and then the Seahawks, if you look at it in totality, then they probably were the best one as a whole. Okay. And there were people coming from everywhere. I mean, they were rushing 4, but they were bringing corners, safeties, constantly. Somebody is coming at May, and May, he had no idea what to do with himself. Had no idea. They got a touchdown on a play they shouldn't even. It shouldn't even happen. It was a busted play in the defensive secondary, and I mean, you're going to have those. The best defenses are going to bust a play. It's going to happen.
Yeah. I agree.
But we all talked about that. This is going to be the reason that the Patriots lose.
I'm glad the Patriots lost, but is it just me, or did it feel like this Super Bowl was lacking some juice? Like
it was boring because it was a defensive against defense for the longest time.
I'm talking about like the Super Bowl. I feel like the only drama about this Super Bowl was the halftime show. Like that was the whole hype to the whole. I think that overtook what teams were even playing. Like,
so overblown.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like this Super Bowl for me, like yes, obviously there's two teams. They're not my team in it, right? But it's just like I'm like this Super Bowl, like low key, like I'm not talking about defenses because I love defenses. And the Seahawks and Patriots, we've talked in previous shows, we talked before the show how I thought the Patriots defense was really, taking a next level, especially in the playoffs. But to me, the Super Bowl sucked as a whole in general, in my opinion. I was not a fan of it, and I'm glad it's over because I was like, whatever.
Hi. Hi. Okay. Can you put that one up from Zahn, my buddy Zahn?
Oh.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, if you put that one in the chat from David Zahn.
Oh, David Zahn. Okay, hang on.
Which one? The last one?
The very last one. No. The very last one he posted. One more down below that. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about. I'm just talking about just.
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that, but I like that. I like a low-scoring Super Bowl. I like people getting their ass handed to them. I really like that. I don't like seeing quarterbacks dominating a ball game. I don't like watching that in the Super Bowl. I really don't.
I don't know. I like both aspects of the game. I get the whole defensive thing, but yeah, I mean, we could just tell that the Patriots just outgunned from the start, in my opinion. Like their defense was keeping them in this game. Their defense needed turnovers. So, and it just wasn't happening. You know, I mean, they almost got one or two, I think, from Sam, but you know, it didn't happen.
Yeah, there was one of those turnovers that almost happened that actually should have been a flag on the defensive player of the Patriots. That wasn't. And so if that did turn into a pick, I would have had some pretty substantial objections to it, to be quite honest. Like it was egregious. Like it was like there was no denying what actually happened. Now,
they were letting a lot go.
I mean, they were, and I think that's totally fair, and it's a good approach for the Super Bowl, because unless it's like glaring, you kind of just want to let things play out.
Yep.
But if you're gonna end up having a pick take place as a result of holding or batting another guy's arm down from being able to catch the ball, you kind of like, it's kind of what happened with the Broncos at the end of that game there where we beat the Bills. Look, I understand the Bills fan base and their frustration, but you can't hold a receiver's arm down when he's trying to catch a ball. Sorry, you just can't. And
too many quarterbacks that love to do the whole, they give you the hug thing and they reach up with their arm, and it's always like the refs, you know, it's like, oh, I'm going to hold one arm down a little bit. They seem to always get it.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is, if the ball's on its way and you're already making contact, you're going to get called for it every time. It's going to happen. This isn't that Saints hit. I mean, that was the most egregious freaking playoff game ever. Was that Saints receiver getting blasted? The ball was 10 yards away and no call. I'm like, come on. I can't even remember who it was. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Remember that? It's a playoff game. May have been even the NFC Championship game.
You talking the Rams?
No, Saints. The Saints game.
Oh, the Saints.
Remember that? Where he got, like, blasted on the sideline and the ball wasn't even there.
Yes.
And
yes.
Oh.
Like,
yes.
Was that Olave? No, it wasn't Olave, though. Was it?
No, that would have been you know who it was? That was the other receiver. It's not Williams, is it? Who was that? Who was their star wideout that they had that turned out to be an absolute diva, and they regretted signing him to a big deal? Sean Payton was there, and they had him, and then he left, and he turned into an absolute like diva. He had like breakout year when Peyton was there, and he kind of tailed off a little bit when Peyton left. It was that guy. I'm almost paused. Thomas. Michael. Yes. It was Thomas.
Plant God.
It was Thomas. He was right by the sideline, and yeah, you're right. He got blasted before the ball.
Lattimore or somebody blasted him, and the ball wasn't even there yet.
Yeah.
It was like not even close.
David, what are you talking about? I feel like you're like in your own world.
Huh?
Suddenly they care about holding now. I'm not talking about offensive, defensive holding. What the fuck?
No, the long and the short of it, right, is they should be calling plays that negatively impact a player from actually making a play. So, like, you should not be able to hold the player's hand down as a defensive player,
right?
From being able as a wide receiver.
David, we were talking about cornerbacks and wide receivers.
Yeah.
Like not D-line stuff. D-line, we know there's holding every play.
Almost every play.
On the D-line and offensive line, that's, I'm pretty sure unless one tackles the other, they're probably not going to get a flag.
Yeah. They teach O-linemen how to hold them. They teach O-linemen like where to put your hands.
They put the hand here so that it goes underneath the arm or like 100%, like for sure.
And I'm sorry, teach defenders how to get that flag. Like, you want to see jersey pull. Like now we're seeing the whole the soccer embellishment stuff where they're like, throwing their hands up to get that ref. So it's like implanted in that ref's head. Hey man, I'm getting held. This is getting ridiculous. Like Raiders fans talk about Max Max, they say Max gets held all the time. She probably does.
So does Garrett.
You also need to remember is that I see Max do some stuff as well. So it does kind of go both ways a little bit, where the D linemen, they're trained the same way the O linemen are. So when Max does his swim move, you all Raiders Nation here knows exactly what I'm referring to. His back that arm and go. Boom. Watch his right hand as he passes by the lineman.
The helmet.
He does the back pull thing. Okay, he does the back pull thing, and you're kidding yourself if you think that's not a holding or some variation thereof. Okay, so look, it does go both ways.
Look at it this way, Richie. Look at it this way. There's a reason why our right tackles and left tackles in the NFL, some of them are not drafted early because they have too short of arms.
Will Campbell, the dude,
exactly.
Patriot.
Yeah,
that guy got exposed all playoffs.
Seahawks blew him up.
Yeah.
Do you know who Will Campbell reminds me a little bit of? Is
looks like dude that they just got out of Home Depot and put on left tackle.
Denver.
There's some image of him at like a hockey game chugging a beer with his shirt off, and I'm like, "This is your guys' left tackle." I mean, he's still impressive. Obviously, he's a really good guy. But
so Taino just said, "I just sent you that play on text of the Saints game." I'm like, "No, you didn't. You sent me a picture. The Las Vegas Raiders have signed Gary Busey as their head coach." That's what you sent me. Come on, bro. Get the hell out of here. You didn't send me that.
Every time I see a new clip of Gary Busey, I get sad because he's just getting...
No, it's Gary Busey.
Yeah. So do you know who the Patriots left tackle reminds me a little bit of is Orlando Franklin.
I remember him.
For the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
So
useless in LA.
Useless.
He was but this is the thing. In the regular season, when he went through the regular with us and he played a couple seasons back to back, he was incredible as a run blocking right tackle. He was awesome. He was aggressive and everything. The issue though is when he got into the playoffs, he went against dudes that had longer arms and were simply able to maneuver as well as having the arm length over him. And it proved to be a big time problem. And he got blown up in Super Bowl 48.
Yeah. Bayou Raider called Will Campbell buttered sausage.
Yeah. And no, but it's you guys also had another dude that was with the Broncos that I really liked at the guard position even, and he had a major issue, but he had like T-Rex style arms. Netani Moody. He was like the strongest guy to ever come through the NFL combines. It's like it was insane. Like the guy was ridiculous. And the problem is he had like little T-Rex arms. And he just couldn't do it. He couldn't keep and maneuver players the right way in terms of getting it done, despite the fact that he had an incredible amount of talent. And if he just had slightly longer arms, he'd probably still be playing now.
Sure.
Well, was he a tackle or they didn't push him inside? He was a guard. And still his arms were that big of a problem as a guard.
I mean, the thing about it is it's like an extra split second to be able to get contact to push him up the field. And it really comes down to that in the NFL. We all know that. It's like a split second of
he didn't have the arm length to do the initial push out and then reset.
They
were getting around him as a result. That was the problem. Exactly.
Obviously, we'll talk about targets because the combine's coming up, and we'll talk about these rookies. But there's some we won't get into this show, but there's some guys, especially on the defensive line side. And I want to remember his name. I don't know if it's TJ Parker. Good night. They're talking about, is it Campbell? Not Campbell. Anyways, there's some guys that have some super long arms at D tackle that are coming into this draft that I got a feeling there's a lot of people drooling over them because you have a huge advantage, especially at a D tackle. If you're a really good D tackle with long arms, you're batting passes, man. You are able to do a lot of stuff. Block disruption.
Peace, love, happiness, masturbate, weather. I don't know what that means. I get the masturbate part. I understand that part, but peace, live, happiness, masturbate, weather. I don't know what you mean.
Right.
Right.
So
okay, Lon, go to bed.
Yeah.
You should. You really should.
Yeah. Yikes. That's all I got to say. Yikes. I think that basically sums up the Super Bowl. We by and large kind of predicted what generally happened to some degree. And then we kind of all agree to some respect that it was a one-sided game, but there were certain things we kind of all, I believe, we think that kind of we expected to go differently and didn't, and it is what it is. I heard there was a halftime show. I'm done. There's just no way I'm watching that crap. And so
I went back to YouTube, watched YouTube videos of people making fools of themselves. That was better.
Yeah. So the answer for that for me was a firm no. And so I mean, overall, it was a game that I thought was worthy of a Super Bowl. Generally speaking, I thought you saw some pretty good plays. You saw some excellent running backs, which is a nice playback to have a guy like Walker out there who really did. He earned, like, let's put it this way, guys. On your bingo card, do you ever think that you were going to see a running back be a Super Bowl MVP in the foreseeable future? No, I know I didn't.
Not this day and age.
Guess who the last running back to win Super Bowl MVP was?
I don't know. Who?
I don't know, Richie. Who is it?
Oh, Davis.
Yep, 1998.
Oh, wow.
Yep, Davis. Yep, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Davis. But again, this is the point, though. It went all the way back to 98 to find the last one. I never thought I'd see that again in my lifetime because of the quarterback, wide receiver, or even defensive like nose tackles and edge rushing guys, like because the rules are put in such a way that it kind of favors those players. I honestly and truly never thought I'd see a running back come back to prominence the way we've seen now in today's NFL, and they are becoming very important. Now, so anywho, it's great.
There's a comment here that I would like to address. It's Corn, 1999. And I want to know what you guys think about that. Let's say Bo is in the game.
Let him think the way he wants to think. Let's not ruin the kid's night. Come on.
All I'm saying is I don't think it would have mattered who was playing Seattle in that Super Bowl. I really don't. I mean, there was nobody in the AFC that was going to compare.
I just wasn't impressed by the AFC in general this year at all.
No.
Not one team. Not my team.
Not really.
Nobody's team.
They had a good defense or they had a good offense or they had one or the other. Seattle had both. So it was a foregone conclusion, in my opinion, that Seattle was going to win that Super Bowl. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, so Corn, I have some bad news for you. You're not going to like my answer, but I'm also going to tell you I don't care. So we'll level the playing field as it pertains.
Never happened to begin with, so there you go.
So the long and the short of it is this. We saw the Denver Broncos not make the proper adjustments against the New England Patriots, and they had every opportunity to win that game, and they chose not to, in my opinion, because they did some really stupid things. Okay? So now when we look at where we're at in terms of what the Broncos could or could not have done, is, do I think the Broncos would have been far more competitive than the Patriots given the talent that we have on the team? Yes. Do I think the Broncos would have been able to do a lot more defensively against the Seahawks than the Patriots did? Yes. Why? Because I believe the Broncos defensive line as well as the edge rushers are simply better across the board overall than the Patriots are. I just think that's a fact. Now, the issue that I have, and this is, look, the Broncos have already given you the answer to this question, so I don't even need to be the one to tell you that there needs to be changes. The Denver Broncos have retained and hired back Davis Webb as the offensive coordinator, and there has been very firm and or at least pretty confirmed rumors that he will be calling plays at least to some extent on the field.
Wow.
Now what does that tell you? That tells you that Sean Payton is likely getting near the end of his career, and he believes he's going to retire in a certain window of time.
3 years.
3 years, that kind of, exactly, 100%. And look at what his mentor did with Sean Payton at the end of his mentor's career. He turned over play calling duties to Sean Payton, and then Sean Payton elevated himself back up to head coaching status. So I believe that the Broncos and Sean Payton have basically shown their hand. They said, we messed up. It was on play calling. We need to get better. We need to get more creative. We need to kind of get a little bit more precise with our play calling, and we need to be able to adapt faster. Now, do I think that Webb is going to be given the keys to the castle 100%? No. Why? Because I don't believe Sean Payton's play calling is atrocious. I actually think he's quite good. The thing is that they're going to be taking Webb and they're going to be heavily inserting him into the play calling duties and scheming, by the way, which is going to be the other big thing, because the Denver Broncos need it, and that's what I think the difference is. Do I think we would have beaten the Seahawks? I think we would have made it very competitive. Do I think we would have won? No. And you're going to hear some information as to why I think so in the last part of the show where we talk about free agents, because I'm also not that high on our offensive line, which is an unpopular opinion in Broncos country. But again, you'll find this with me. I just don't care.
Richie, I saw something the other day on the old X platform. I didn't think I'd see Broncos fans turn on Nick Bonito. I guess Nick Bonito in the AFC Championship game, he had 0 tackles out of they ran the ball 38 times.
What?
Yeah, I did not know he put up a goose egg. I mean, we all know how good Bonito was this year, especially at the beginning of the season. Dude he was like a freaking rocket. I'm seeing like people like Broncos fans are like, dude, the guys. I mean, this is a big. This guy's got almost 10,000 followers. He's like, and then another guy's like Bonito, the big game choker, anti Von Miller. I'm pretty surprised by that sentiment.
I'm not.
I didn't know his stats
But DZ, what were my comments when he was coming up over the last couple of years? I mean, you've been on the show and in the audience for a number of years now as well. And my comment on Bonito up until recently was he would go kind of a flash in the pan for a little bit, and he would literally then just completely disappear. Now, he showed much more promise than some of the other guys on the roster that I've seen that have done certain things as well. Like his get off was like really good. So like if he just did like a little bit more or whatever the case may be, you could kind of see that he had the potential, right? So that's fair. That's totally fine. But we've already seen that in Broncos country from Nick Bonito, where he kind of either was hurt and didn't tell anyone, or he was almost kind of like, I'm going to just kind of look like I'm doing the thing to save myself for the Super Bowl, and we'll wait and see what happens. I would prefer not to think he's that kind of guy, because to the Broncos country members, their fan base there that were kind of making those comments, Von Miller was the exact opposite.
Oh, dude, he showed up.
Von Miller was like, like the playoff
game
time
on the line, fourth quarter,
yeah.
and then boom, he's dead. Strip sack or something.
That dude showed up everywhere he was.
Yeah,
everywhere.
It's unfortunate. Age, kind of, and injuries took over late his career.
Yep.
But he was stellar as a Bronco, man. And then Vincent 865, he's throwing up some good points. Hall, Algier, ETN, Jefferson trade rumors. Those are all juicy things, especially with free agency around the corner. And with Justin Jefferson. I mean, and then we just saw, and I don't know if it's coming into effect, but I think the NFL used to go like, if you wanted to trade right with somebody, you can only trade, I think, 3 future first round picks. And the NFL saying they could go 5, which is insane in the NFL.
Do you know what that'll open up though? That will open up teams that have found a franchise quarterback, but they don't think is quite good enough for their team, but another team thinks that they can do better with them. You're going to see guys like that get traded. Like, I mean, like for example, and DZ, this is an unpopular opinion that you're going to hear from me as an example, but as an example right now, today, here and now, the question is, if the Chargers are picking high enough in the draft and they have become, and they believe that Herbert is really, really, really good, but not good enough to get them to the Super Bowl, if you got 5 firsts for him, like,
I'd do it.
Like, why not, right? Like, why not do it? And so, like, there's a reasonable mental mindset to get yourself in to say,
I don't think there's really that many QBs in the league right now that any team should be married to like that. You've got a lot of factors. You've got age. You've got all kinds of stuff.
I think the only ones DZ that are protected by that is the older ones, like Stafford. You know what I mean?
He's got like 1 year left in him, if that.
1 or 2. I mean, but the dude just won his first MVP in the NFL. It is
it wasn't.
Here's my point, though. If I'm Seattle, and if that rule passes, and I go to the Chargers and say, I'm going to give you 5 firsts for Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
They have a good enough team pretty much all the way around that they're not going to need to constantly look for pieces. They can use their second round as their de facto first round and then kind of build out through like depth and coaching and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I'm the Seahawks, I'd seriously consider it.
Yeah. But I mean, they do have some free agents to take care of, but get this, they are the Super Bowl champs and they are in the top 5 in cap space right now as well, which is pretty scary.
Yeah. And Raiders as well.
But you guys didn't win the Super Bowl and you're rebuilding.
What's crazy is they won a Super Bowl and they're like number 3 in the league in cap space. That's crazy.
This is what's going on. This whole last week, I've seen different cap numbers. I'm just for my team, and I'm asking guys, I'm like, where are you getting this cap number? Because I'm looking on Sports Track and all these things, and so people are going, well, you got to wait for so and so's money to come off the books, and then this, that, and this and other.
March 11th, the day.
Yeah, that's because I've heard, like, if you look at a Sports Track right now, Chargers have 83, and that's even after re-signing T.R. Tart. But then earlier this week, I'm talking to guys. I'm like, hey, man, where are you coming up with this number? And it's 100. It's over 100 million because they're waiting for money to come off the books with Khalil Mack and so and so. So I'm just like you, Nav, I'm just going to wait and see what it's going to be like March 11th.
March 11th the date. I mean, projected for the Raiders about 98 million because there's so many 1-year contracts. Those little $1 billion, $2 million deals are going to come off at the same time, released at the end.
But to go back to Richie, 5 firsts, dude. I'm not married to any quarterback.
Understood.
5 first-round picks, and we're seeing that Sam Darnold, who was a first-round talent that, and he got, thrown around and he got
the product of the Jets, bro. Product of the Jets.
He won a Super Bowl, so why not, man? I mean,
five first rounders to be able to be picked or be given for a quarterback, an existing quarterback, actually makes the Jets relevant. in reality.
Yeah.
Because they would do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing nasty rumors. I'm hearing Joe Burrow is the next Rams quarterback after Stafford. I'm like, oh God.
Joe Burrow needs to freaking not get hurt every year, and then I can talk about Joe Burrow being a freaking elite quarterback.
But I can see the Rams doing this whole 5 F them picks thing again, and going F these picks. Here you go, Cincy. Here's 5 first-round picks. Give us Joe.
They do 4 or 3 maybe,
or something crazy, something, and throw in a player or two. And because they're going to be like, Matt Stafford's going to retire, And by the way, that MVP vote, it was pretty close, Nav, between Matt and May. But to say that that Justin Herbert vote took it away, it would only tied it, and then Josh Allen still got 2.
I don't think it makes sense for the Chargers though to move on from Justin Herbert. He's not really had a chance to show anything yet. Really,
we'll see.
The whole team's never stayed healthy.
That's true.
With him around. So I mean, I wouldn't just like.
My whole pause on it though, Nev, is quarterback development in college and the NFL is such trash. Yeah. It's really bad. It's not like, when we were growing up, we'd watch our team draft a quarterback. They'd sit for a year or 2, and then they seem to be the little red. And plus, when they were in college, they didn't bounce around to school. They stayed at one school, and they developed at that one school.
I mean, the Packers have had how many quarterbacks in the last 35 years, 40 years?
Not that many.
3.
Right.
3.
So
it's. I mean,
is Burrow elite? He's a great quarterback, but
he's got to stay upright. That's the thing, and the Bengals will not allow that. So
resplendent Raider, Burrow is elite. I mean, everybody keeps posting like top 5 quarter. They put Burrow in it all the time. They don't ever mention that Burrow has probably the best duo at wide receiver and had
Jason T. Higgins,
amazing running back.
And by the way, pretty good tight end as well.
But the guy can't stay healthy. You know what I mean? Like he's not a Ted. He's not a there every day.
They need to invest more in protecting his ass than they do in weapons.
I mean, in this day and age, I still got him as a top 10 quarterback. He's a great quarterback, but like elite, like who's elite and who? I just don't know anymore, man. Like.
Well, we don't know because now we had Drake May and Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Now we don't know who really is elite. Lamar can't get it done. Josh can't.
I've got so many questions about Lamar, but if you mention Lamar on other shows or other people jump down your throats, like
no. But I'm just saying they haven't gotten it done, and they've been around a long time. I mean, Justin, you can put him in there.
Dude, he's been shit in the playoffs. But during the season, he's been amazing. He reminds me, and he hasn't gone as far as Josh Allen because Josh Allen has won some games in the playoffs. But he's like he puts the cape on, and then come playoffs, because we all know playoffs is a different beast, right? Like it's nothing compared to what he is during the regular season.
No, I'm just saying Josh Allen has played elite quarterback play in every single playoff game he's played in until the last one he just played in. That was a bad game.
Who's better than both? Are you saying that Burrow is better than Allen and Herbert? I mean, look, dude, everybody's got their own opinion, man. That's cool.
It's cool, but you got to stay on your feet first.
If I'm building an organization right now, I'm not picking him over those two.
No,
because I want my quarterback to stay out there all season long. But look, dude, he's like I said, he's still great. I love him. I love his the
moxie. I love his decision making. I mean, when he's on the field, he is probably the best quarterback in the NFL. Is Burrow. There's no question in my mind. But he's not on the field very often. That's the problem.
Yeah, we could go about this all day.
That's right.
Who's great? Who's not good?
That's why the Steelers can sneak into the freaking playoffs, because everybody in that division is terrible.
So let's quickly get into it and talk about your changes there, Nav.
Oh, what change. You mean the coach? New head coach?
Oh, good. We covered it. All right. Next topic.
I thought we were watching Groundhog Day again. Just kidding.
All right. So Kubiak coming in the building. The one thing that I think is not super important is who the offensive coordinator is going to be. Right. I mean, here's the thing. The logical choice is that Janoko from Seahawks comes with him. But if he decides to stay and be the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks, then, I mean, I wouldn't have a hard time with John Benton coming over. 33 years in the league, the dude's a freaking offensive assistant, offensive line coordinator. I mean, it doesn't matter because he's going to be in the booth. He's going to be coordinating the game plan because Kubiak's going to be calling plays. So all you need is an offensive coordinator who can take a little bit off his plate. That's all you really need. The important part for the Raiders is going to be who our defensive coordinator is going to be.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest with you, that is limited quite a bit. So when I look at it, everybody's talking about Jim Schwartz. So let me tell you, I dug into that a little bit further. One, he kind of screwed himself by resigning from the Browns. He did it. I think he did it on I'm pissed off, I'm out of here. Because, and I don't blame him, Todd Monken over Jim Schwartz? Come on. Browns, all you do is keep screwing up. I mean, come on. I look, I can't speak too terribly about how you keep screwing up because I'm a Raider fan. So I'm just saying, really, Jim Schwartz is not going to be your head coach. You don't promote him. Come on. When you get rid of Stefanski, I mean, come on. So, what it will take to get him would probably be a fourth rounder if we wanted to get Jim Schwartz, but we don't know what Kubiak's looking at. We don't know what our head coach is looking at. It was obvious in the presser. He said, hey, once I'm done with this parade, I'm in the building and we're going to go to work. And even when he was asked about Mendoza, he goes, just need to look at some tape because all I've been looking at is tape on people that we're going to be playing against until I won a Super Bowl.
Rightfully so.
That's what he said. You know what I mean? And I love it that dude's going to walk in the building getting ready to get his ring. That should be instrumental in the locker room. Schwartz, I don't see that. So Seattle, the defensive coordinator in Seattle is dirty. And I can see that happening because the dude is the defensive coordinator, but Mike McDonald calls all the defensive plays. So this is a chance for Dirty to actually, with Kubiak, right? That's a chance for him to actually take a lateral move and actually be a play caller on defense. I can see that. So here's my next piece. Robbie Leonard, we kept him for a reason. Robbie Leonard's a young defensive mind, and he's been in the building for a while. If we just elevate him, literally costs nothing except for a pay raise. So Rob Leonard was basically Patrick Graham's right-hand man, but when Rob Leonard got an opportunity to call defense, we looked a lot better. Went to a little bit more of aggressive, push it up the field type of deal, right? But let's see. Like I said, and then the offensive coordinator is really not that big a deal to me. You just need a dude that can actually game plan, to be honest with you. Because if the head coach is going to be calling offensive plays, then you just need a dude to take some shit off his plate. To be perfectly honest with you, it's not that big a deal. And then all the other special teams coaches. Now, I think I told you this, I definitely do want Jay Harbaugh as a special teams coach.
Not happening.
But from the Seahawks. Oh, by the way. I'm telling you, I want this dude. I want this dude. Come on. Bring him. And DZ.
The fact that he has a Super Bowl ring before his father, That's got to really, Jim's like.
That's got to hurt. That's got to hurt. And that's why I want him. That's why I want him. Twice a year, you'll see Daddy. Let's go. I'm big about Jay Harbaugh. But anyway, enough with the coaching stuff. The rest of them will be filtered down. Coordinators. We kept a few. Like I said, Rob Leonard is a defensive mind. I can see him being elevated if that's what Kubiak wants. And I call Kubiak Ice Cube.
Kube.
Kube. And the reason why is because his presser was that way.
I think you guys are probably starting this week, you will probably see a flurry of dudes being brought in or rumors because they're essentially right now the Raiders are the last team to get their staff assembled. So they need to move quick because you alluded to earlier, I think the new league year opens in 1 month from today.
Yeah.
So, they want to get a jump on it. So you guys are probably going to assemble that staff, pretty quick.
You have 1 week.
I feel
basically have 1 week.
I feel like Kubiak kind of already knew who was coming with them.
There's probably some guys. That Kubiak family's been around for a while. There's dudes in the collegiate. There's guys that are probably at home sitting.
Well, Well, and there's also, Josh McCown. I didn't know. I don't know if he didn't get hired anywhere. Josh McCown is an OC.
Oh, is he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Josh McCown can be an OC.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's not had an opportunity to be one, but I can see that possibly happening. But like I said, OC is not my concern. DC is my concern.
It should go, you got your head coach, DC, offensive line coach, and then the rest will just fall where they need to fall.
Right. And the OC should be an OG. I said OC, OG. Bring an OG in there, to a game plan. The dude knows how to do the work. Been there for years, and that's Benton out of I said freaking, not the FU. So just so you know, I'm getting better. I'm getting way better
tonight.
Getting way better.
P's and Q's.
I'm getting way better. So
Nav, I have a suggestion or a solution actually for your team.
Sure.
Which I'm going to regret saying.
Don't you dare.
So I agree. I actually think the guy from Seattle there is probably well suited for your team as a DC.
Yeah.
And the way you get around the lateral move piece, and this is actually likely a real possibility for your team, which is you have an offensive-minded coach who doesn't really need additional help on that side of the ball. You're 100% correct. He just needs a guy, kind of like the way that Sean Payton needs a guy in the OC role, like up until recently. A game planner, a guy that kind of like build the offense and kind of figure it out. Yeah, exactly. And you need someone competent to do that. So I think if you get a guy to fill that role, I think you're good. Now, the flip side of that is the guy from Seattle. I think you subvert the challenge that you're going to run into, which is a lateral move can be absolutely rejected, by not making it a lateral move. I believe
technically not.
No. But remove the technicality.
Right.
Bring him in as an interview, as an assistant head coach and defensive coordinator as his job title out of the gate.
And I think those guys are tight enough that Kubiak would be comfortable with something like that. Because the Raiders have done something like 1 week after, not even a day after Pete Carroll was fired, they named someone the president of freaking football operations. And guess who that is? John Spytek. He's the GM and the president of operations.
I got a fun name that might be a potential DC candidate. We've said Jim Schwartz, you mentioned Rob Leonard, internal hire. Yeah. What about Sean McDermott?
He can't. He retired. He technically retired. Like it's much like sports. You have to trade for a dude like that. You have to put players in. You have to entice them to release them, take them out of their deal. It's like Schwartz. So Schwartz, his rights are owned by the Browns. So if he goes to work anywhere, he can't hire on them.
Oh wow!
I mean, they're assistants, right? Because if McDermott, there's no head coaching vacancies open now. If there was one and McDermott wanted to be one, that's different. But he's going to be back to be a coordinator. The Bills still own his rights.
Okay.
Because McDermott walked away.
Okay. Before his thing was expired, I guess, or
it was expired. Yeah, and it was a trade-friendly or a team-friendly side of things. They still own McDermott's rights, and McDermott's made it very clear he's going to take a year off and reevaluate himself.
There was another. You kept talking about Durde, right? From the Seahawks is another potential. There's another guy, isn't it? He's also with the Seahawks, isn't it? Carl Scott.
Yeah.
As well.
Carl Scott. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another one.
Okay.
But before I went there, internally, Rob Leonard would be elevated to DC, in my opinion. To me,
your D-line guy, right?
My D-line guy. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see
Bayou, he was fired, but the rights were still. The funny part about it is his contract is still out there. And Bayou, you gave me the key on the Schwartz thing where I could unlock all this crap. So it's called greasing the skids, by the way. You can grease the skids by giving Cleveland a 4th rounder, which, oh, by the way, we have 3 of those.
Yeah, it's wild that you guys have that many 4th round picks.
Yeah, 3 4th rounders and a comp pick in the 4th.
4th rounds are juicy picks, man.
And a comp pick in the 4th. So
there's some other names. I saw Andre Patterson, Steve Wilkes, and George Edwards.
Steve Wilkes, I think, is staying.
Okay.
So I'm not sure he's actually. They didn't bring him in the building that I know of. But now it's what it's going to come down to now, because being late, because we were like, hey, we want this dude or nobody. And we got Kubiak, and it's like, hey, he's the head coach. He brings his people in there, and he lives and dies by it, right? So I think that's kind of why we're kind of just like chilling on it a little bit. Let's see what he wants. My guess is second interview was like, I want this guy, and this guy. I got these guys right here are going to follow me from the Seahawks and this and this and this. Look, I'm not in NFL high-level discussions with head coaches, but I'm in high-level conversations with multi-million-dollar stuff going on. And when new people come in, they're like, I got this guy, and this guy. That's who I want. So I don't think it would be any different than that. I'm pretty sure Kubiak's like, we need to work on all this stuff. And to be honest with you, March 11th is going to be a big deal. But for the Raiders, the bigger deal is let's get this staff completed. That, to me, that's a bigger deal before we even talk about free agency. But I do have people I want to keep that are free agents. So I guess that's a segment on the show here, isn't it, Rich, at some point?
They call that a segue, if I've ever heard one.
Segue.
A segue. Not to be confused with a drunken Elway on one, but a segue into the next segment. I mean, I agree. I think you guys have a tremendous amount of options still available to you at DC. I think there's a bunch of names. By the way, there was another name from my Broncos that I refused to bring on screen. I'm not going to give it airtime because keep your hands off of my guys. He is definitely he's the guy that I think the Broncos were going to elevate if Vance Joseph didn't come back. And he's a legit contender for like a DC in the very near future.
I agree with you.
And then another guy that was actually that I think is on your roster of coaches that is a disciple within the Fangio kind of system and stuff is Joe Woods.
Yeah.
He was actually at one point within the Broncos organization being heavily considered as a defensive coordinator candidate for us when we moved on from Vic Fangio as the head coach, where they were toying with the idea of elevating him as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And
I think Joe's the tight ends coach.
He was on the defensive side of the ball. I'm almost certain about it.
Oh wait, okay. I'm thinking of something else.
His specialty has typically been cornerbacks and stuff, and then as a result, he kind of has developed like the strategy end of it because he's having to react to the offenses.
Defensive backs coach. My bad.
Right, cornerback, defensive backs, exactly.
Yep.
And he was being highly regarded within the Broncos organization as being a very legitimate candidate for defensive coordinator. And then before the Broncos could really do anything, he was allowed to walk to go to another organization of his own request, and then eventually landed with the Raiders. But he's a mind like that I wouldn't necessarily sleep on. Like he's got the chops, and he's definitely got pedigree to say, yeah, you're probably capable.
Right, but if you elevate Rob Leonard to DC, then you elevate that to one more.
Well, and that's possible too. Yeah, that's possible too.
Logical progression, right?
Yeah, it's possible too. But I'm saying Woods could well be competing for the defensive coordinator gig as well, in my opinion, because he has that respect within the league as far as last I heard at least.
Yeah.
He's a very, very good coach. Anyways, moving on to our free agent stuff, to make good on your segue before we go ahead and lose it. I'm going to quickly just kind of break down a little bit on the Broncos side. Yes, that's who I was talking about, Joe Woods, correct. And I'm just going to quickly break down a few free agents that you guys are likely familiar with on the Broncos that are going to be names that you just kind of recognize. And we'll go from there. We have John Franklin Myers, who's probably the biggest name as a free agent on the Denver Broncos. He had one heck of a season. I mean, like one heck of a season.
Yeah,
and he's going to be getting himself a nice Brinks truck at some point from someone, if I'm not mistaken, if I had to guess. However, I do not believe it is going to be with my Denver Broncos.
No.
I believe that we have identified him as the comp pick guy for our team, where we believe that he's going to get a big deal. We're going to let him walk, and then we're going to try to bring in some additional talent there.
Right.
Some other quick guys that I will just kind of quickly break down. Alex Singleton, inside linebacker. J.K. Dobbins, running back. Justin Stranad, inside linebacker. Little Jordan Humphrey, who is not so little. And Sam Mustipher, center, who we brought in as a stopgap, who played very well, actually, for the Broncos as a backup center. So that's a couple people to keep in mind. I'm going to quickly touch on a couple of restricted free agents. Jaquan McMillan, our nickel corner who started the entire season for us, is a restricted free agent. Palcho, who has been mentioned many times on the show, is now a restricted free agent for my team. Jaleel McLaughlin, running back. He was the scat back that you saw play number 38 on my Denver Broncos. A pretty good player, but kind of a limited guy. Really only good at kind of a couple key things, not a full, well-rounded running back. Right. And tight end Nate Adkins, my favorite tight end on the roster, actually, for my Denver Broncos, who I do believe we will simply bring back if I had to guess.
Richie, the Broncos might have the least amount of free agents unrestricted out of any team in the league right now. I think you only have 11 right now or something.
Yeah. We have 18 unrestricted.
Yeah.
18. And
then I'm only going to really bring up one guy that I think that matters on the exclusive rights free agents, and that is Dondrea Tillman at the edge position for my team. He's a low key, like, pretty solid contributor to the Broncos. He's a guy that no one talks about, but you look at his stats and he's quite good. He's quite good. He's been low key productive, and he has been a developmental player that the Broncos have been working on behind the scenes. So those are the kind of the highlight free agents within the Denver Broncos. Just a
So you think
couple
John's going to
guys.
be your comp walk away guy?
Correct.
Okay, what about Alex? You guys are going to sign him lifetime?
I think he's a lifetime Bronco, in my opinion. I think he's
Who's
being
that?
brought back.
Who?
Singleton.
Alex Singleton.
No
And then
he's just he's the lunch pail guy. He's the guy you actually want on your team, that you bring in on a like team friendly kind of deal, where you allow yourself and him to kind of like walk away without dead cap kind of thing, where you come up with like a mutual agreement and you kind of say, we want to keep you, you want to stay here, but we need you to be basically like a linebackers coach on the field.
yeah.
And you keep him on the field to work with all of the young dudes that are on your team. That
I mean, he's getting up there, but he's still playing at a high level.
Yeah.
You've got like what? John Franklin, Alex Singleton, PJ Locke, and Stranad. Those are like dudes, like if from an outsider looking in, that I'm like keen on.
You keep
those are the guys.
Take Stranad.
I mean, I would.
Take him. I'm happy to give him up.
Okay.
Really? Thanks.
Yeah, happy to give him up. I will give him credit where credit's due. He did actually improve this year compared to where he was last year, but he still showed his deficiencies in his game throughout the season, where he was beat pretty hard on where he kind of like overcompensated, kind of went like a little too aggressive, bad routes, bad cuts, didn't stay in his lane, all that kind of stuff. He does have some speed to him, so he's able to make up some of that from time to time. But overall, if I'm going to look between the two, personally, for me, I just think Singleton is just a better rounded player and more willing than Stranad is to
impart. He's a tempo setter, man.
Yeah. So
he kind of, he's like, he might not be, he's not your top dog on that defense, but he's a tempo setter in the middle of that field, you know. Yes. And those are guys, like the Chargers had a lot of guys like that this year. Those are the dudes that just, you know, for you guys, Hufanga, that's another one.
Yes. Yeah.
That's another tempo setter, man, like laying the wood on somebody, gets everybody else juiced, ready to rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when everything's getting like quiet, you know, and you're at home in Denver, right? Yeah. And then, you know, there's just the other team's methodically driving on you.
Yeah.
And then this dude puts one on you, and it changes the whole freaking set.
Starts waking up, and then it gets a 3rd and long, and they're kicking a field goal or they're punting the ball. You know what I mean?
That's the dude. I mean, you're right about that for sure.
Yeah. So in terms of guys that I'd like to bring back of this list, Singleton would certainly be one of them for me. I think we need to keep him on the team, like I said, as like a coach on the field. I think that you saw Corinne Reed and our other UDFA inside backer really make those major leaps forward as a result of Singleton and his willingness to actually coach and work with guys. You can't really teach that. The guy's either willing to do it or he's not, right? Like it's not a, hey, you must do. The guy can just turn and say, like, go to hell, right? Like, I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm not going to teach a guy how to take over my job. But at the end of the day, Singleton is certainly in an age bracket and an age range where he's no dummy. He knows full well that he's nearing kind of the end of his career. And I think he's at a point where he wants to leave a bit of a legacy for himself. And so I think that he is a reasonable guy to bring back. I think you have him as a guy that you kind of have teach other linebackers on the field. And for the most part, he has stayed incredibly healthy. despite the fact that he plays a high collision position, right? Like he is often, if not is, the leading tackler on the Denver Broncos. Right? And it's and he had himself some plays when it mattered most as the season kind of got down to crunch time. And I think that needs to be, in my opinion, rewarded, because I think it sends the right message to other free agents as you seek to bring them in, that guys that become staples on your team are not just kicked to the curb when it best suits you, or when it might suit you. You want to keep them but make it reasonable for the team as well. And I think that needs to be kind of something that's worked out there. Out of these other guys in the unrestricted free agent category, I would be interested in JK, depending on the other free agents that we might bring in. And then another guy that I really like is Sam Mustipher as a backup developmental guy, as a depth piece. I just think he's really good. He really proved himself on the team, and I would hate to see him walk as a result of that. In the next group, I will literally just mention 3 dudes from the next group of my Broncos. Jaquan McMillan is going to be a tough one to see walk. I'm not convinced that Jahdae Barron is capable of filling in at that caliber. Not yet. That dude is like, Jaquan McMillan is like in like the tippity top of the NFL in terms of nickel corners. Like, he is that good.
Give us him. Give us him, because that's exactly what we need on our defense. Is a free safety.
And then we got well, he's a corner, right? A nickel corner. And then we got Palcho. Yeah. And then we got Palcho, who is a Swiss Army knife on the offensive line. Literally the only position that dude does not play and has not played for us yet is center. At some point, he has played every other position on the line. And to be quite honest, he hasn't really missed a beat when he's played at any of those positions from the starter that was there. So, like, that's a hard one to say, let him walk. And then in a Sean Payton or even a Davis Webb or a Webb-led offense, you need a tight end that can both block and catch, and has the flexibility of play fullback if you want. And that gives you the roster flexibility that if you don't want to carry a full-time fullback, that you got the tight end that can play that role for you instead. And Nate Adkins is that guy. So he gives you that full flexibility in that position. And I think he would not be that expensive given, just generally speaking, kind of like it's a non-sexy position in the NFL. You know what I mean? It's he's not a Travis Kelce. He's kind of the tier below, right?
And the Broncos are they have no more dead money now, right? Going into this. Like, that's all done.
Russell Wilson after
all
this.
Done, yeah.
March 11th, it's done.
Yeah.
So
and then last but not least is out of the last group, which is the exclusive rights. I am quite happy with letting all of the other guys go, except for Dondre Tillman. I just think that he is a really valuable player as a depth piece, and you have him compete to see if he can elevate himself to get into that starting rotation.
Nothing else. Nothing else. You stick him on a practice squad as a depth piece.
Right. And then another guy that I'm going to throw out there where I think the Broncos are going to throw something at him and see what happens is Devin Key. Right. He was a gunner for us. He was spectacular on special teams as a gunner. And he played a little bit actually at the safety position, his natural position on the field, and did okay. And so I actually think that he could be a guy that we might throw something at and just kind of see what happens. But it's going to be really an interesting one for me. Last but not least, I'm going to quickly throw out a couple names. I got 3 position groups that I believe we're going to target, and I got 2 guys at 2 positions that I'm interested in. Kenneth Walker is actually a free agent.
Yep.
He is exactly what my Broncos need at the running back position.
If you get rid of JK.
Exactly. If we don't bring back JK, Walker would be a great fit for that.
I see him getting re-signed.
Well, and it's possible, but the thing is that I would be totally comfortable if the Broncos just started throwing around some Walmart money and then force the Seahawks to then up their ante with him and then basically hurt a contender by having them pay more than they wanted to.
You said Walmart money. You mean it has to end in 88?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, exactly. But if Walker is not a viable option for us, as an example, and we're looking at pure external free agents as people for the Broncos, Breece Hall would be an interesting option for the Broncos as a running back.
I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know why. So the Jets went on a fire sale with Sauce Gardner. Why didn't they do that with him? They could have freaking come out of his rookie contract.
They wanted too much for him.
Yeah, and then too much draft capital.
Yeah,
they wanted too much draft capital, and it bit them in the rear because now they don't want to re-sign him for the money.
But the Colts gave up like 2 first-rounders for Sauce Gardner. I mean,
no, they were looking for too much for his services at a running back position, which you're not going to get a lot of guys. It's got too much risk involved in the collision of that particular position, like the high collision nature. So they were just looking for too much, and they weren't going to get it. And it kind of
$30 million at running back is going to be difficult, even in this day and age.
Yeah, exactly. And so those are the 2 running backs that are outside of the organization that I think the Broncos should be players in and see kind of where they land. And then JK would kind of be like the other alternative if they don't target or get one of those guys. I actually would prefer a Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker over JK just due to pure health, not due to production, but just pure health. But I think that that's going to be an interesting one. I'm totally okay with letting Bidet and McLaughlin both walk. I think that that's okay for my team. And I think we need a different mix in that running back room for us to be productive. Tight end is the position that I believe my team needs a tremendous amount of help at to round out on the offensive side of the ball.
It's a good tight end free agency.
2 interesting tight ends that are available, David Njoku and Kyle Pitts.
I would go with the first one.
I mean, both would be fantastic.
Both, I think, are viable options in a offense led by Sean Payton and Webb. I think they would both fit very well. Yeah. I think they can both be very productive.
I think Kyle Pitts doesn't like the block, and Njoku will.
Yes.
There's some of that, yeah.
And so those are just 2 names that I'm kind of tossing out there. I believe the Ingram experiment did not work out all that well, if I'm going to be perfectly honest.
I'm glad he passed up on us, to be honest with
you. He just wasn't putting in that extra effort that was required to do what he needed to do to be productive.
He's like a non-factor for you guys, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I got a bit of a nostalgic name here, but I think that the Broncos are probably going to do something if I had to guess. And I think the Broncos may make a play to bring back Von Miller on a vet minimum.
Oh, wow. No shit.
That
would be great for your locker room.
Just save it to the playoffs, I guess. I don't know.
I think he's going to be a pass rush specialist that'll be brought in as a vet minimum deal. I've heard that Miller is wanting to play that role for the Broncos. He has come out and publicly said he wants to come back to the Broncos. He knows that this is like the back 9 of his career. He's wanting to basically play the role of an edge coach on the field or a pass rush coach on the field. And if you got a guy here, we just spoke about him earlier on the show. You got the dude that the team wants to become the next Von Miller in Benito. And you got Von Miller who's saying, I'll come back to your team for a very reasonable price.
Yeah.
So the question then is like, why not?
Look what Aaron Rodgers did. He went to the Steelers for $10 million. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'll be good for your locker room. I'll be good for this or whatever. You guys can say whatever you want. Anybody can say whatever they want about Aaron Rodgers. But the dude is actually a good locker room dude.
He is. Yes.
He really is good for the locker room.
Yes.
You looking like Mike McCarthy, you should know this.
Of course, 100%. Of course. There's like an ESP connection that I have with McCarthy just due to looks alone. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You even look like him on the sideline with your headset on. I'm just saying. Yeah.
So anyways, I just thought those are some interesting names. And by the way, the Von Miller one isn't just like me as a Broncos fan saying let's bring him back. Like there's actual Von Miller has publicly made comments. There's been kind of like team insiders that have publicly made comments. This is looking more possible than not. Like this is definitely something that is a legit option.
It's definitely chatter because I've seen it on my feed.
Yeah. And then there is another interesting one that I would love to see happen. I just don't think the Broncos will do it just because they hate me. And that is, I want Linderbaum. I want that dude on my team badly at the center position.
You and everybody else, bro, get in line.
And the reason why I think he would be the reason why I think he would be a reasonable fit for us, unless we go and are targeting one in like the very high draft, like in the first round kind of thing, is we desperately need a center that is more aggressive than Whataburger. Yeah. And we need a center that is more competent than Whataburger.
You all screwed the pooch on that one.
However, I think they re-signed Wattenberg, and I'm hoping I'm right, but
probably extended, right?
They did, but I think Wattenberg would make a better guard than a center.
This is Richie drinking some copium right now.
And I hope
he's trying to get his Linderbaum thing entwined and make us see it through his orange-colored glasses.
Yeah. I would like to see Wattenberg move over to left guard to take over for Powers, who I believe the team is going to move on from. And then I would like the team to find that center of the future that is larger, more aggressive, more physical, and basically all of the things that the teams that did really well in the playoffs where they had like the good offensive lines, they all started with large kind of physical centers that were able to hold their own in the middle of the field. Right. And it's such an important position. And while I will agree, Whataburger, because I refuse to call him by his real name, has improved.
Whataburger is a good place to eat, though. I mean, that's
Whataburger.
No, Whataburger is a good sandwich, though. I mean, that's why you call him Whataburger.
I'm sure it is.
Whataburger is actually a good hamburger.
Yeah. So what I'd like to see is the Broncos get a center of the future, a guy that can grow with Bo Nix.
Bob's young.
I think he's 27.
Yeah. So that would be my preference in terms of that.
He's going to set the market. Whoever he goes, he's going to be the highest paid center in the league.
And I did not see any really interesting interior defensive linemen that we could backfill that really caught my eye.
There's a lot of older vets available, Richie. But if you're making like a Super Bowl run, like there's some dudes.
The only guy that I could see us going after, believe it or not, is Calais Campbell.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a Colorado native.
Yep.
And
he's better now than he was.
Yeah, I think the Texans, like their whole D line, except for the edges, are all free agents. There's some guys; they're just older.
He's better now than he was. That dude, I mean, his name comes up in every game.
Yeah, he's a very large human being. He's been in the league forever. He would be a great locker room
or something.
Yes.
Hey. Yeah. So can I address something real quick? JoJo that's up there says Trump 2028. We don't do politics up in here. We just don't do that. We're talking football. Beat it. Get out. Bye. We don't talk politics in here. We're talking football. Copy?
So
copy. Everybody agree with me? You guys agree with me?
What he said.
Okay. I don't.
Dude, I'm Canadian. I can't. I'm Canadian. I'm not allowed to vote in the U.S. election anyway.
No, I understood. But you don't pop in here. We're talking about football with some politics, man. Get out. Whether you like them or not, I don't care.
No quicker way to chase away people than talk politics.
Yeah, right. 50% of the American audience will go away when you start talking that. So
yes, that and religion.
Yeah,
either one.
I agree.
Very divided country right now.
Yes.
So, looking ahead with that, there's like I said, there's a few vets and stuff like that. Calais Campbell just caught my eye because I know he's from Colorado, and I know there was talks about him coming to Denver at some point. Just the natural play for your home team before you retire. Play for your home team before you retire, kind of thing, right?
Right.
But overall, I think that this free agency, the Broncos are going to make a couple splash moves overall. And then I think there's going to be one or two in the splash move section for the Broncos. And I think there's going to be a lot in the third wave for the Broncos.
How many draft picks do you guys have, Richie? Do you know?
I think we have all of them.
So you have 7? Okay. Yeah, I could see you guys making, you guys were this close, right? And to me, what that looked like is running back, tight end, wide receiver. That's. I'm not saying you need to get all 3, but I'm thinking the Denver, the Walmart CEOs and the board members are we need a difference maker because nobody else was a difference maker for us in the playoffs. And that's probably they're going to look at vets or even possible trade for somebody. I mean, I've heard Waddle's name has been floated around. Like I said, it's a good tight end free agency. And then there's some running backs. And maybe he'll throw the bag at one of these top guys out there. And you mentioned Walker and you mentioned Breece Hall, but ETN, man, for some reason, ETN feels like he fits Sean, in my opinion. But that's just me.
And then, there's some other pieces here as well. Just if we're looking honestly at what the Broncos offensive line did in the playoffs, especially in the latter part of the season, and also playing against the Chargers defense as well, I think is something to take note of. Is as much as the Broncos offensive line is touted as being this incredible offensive line in the league, and statistically, sure, they did well, actually. I can't even deny it. Stats wise, they did well, generally speaking. But the other thing to keep in mind is you have a quarterback who is quite savvy and elusive and doesn't get sacked very often in Bo Nix. And so the question then becomes, is the offensive line not giving up sack stat? Is that a offensive line statistic at this point? Or is that a quarterback stat at that point? And there's been plenty of quarterbacks that have been able to avoid sacks based on their IQ and how they play. And Bo Nix is definitely one of those guys. That's his jam. He does not allow himself to be taken down very often, if at all.
That was Drake May until the playoffs as well.
Right. And so my whole piece there is, if you are more objective in assessing the Denver Broncos offensive line, we have a few challenges that we need to sort out. We need to start looking at a right tackle because McGlinchey is starting to get beat a little bit from time to time. And we need to start to backfilling some of the guard spots like Ben Powers and Wadabagle, who are getting beaten from time to time in the interior side there. So I'm sorry, it's a fact. You can disagree, but look at the film and look at the tape. Bo Nix is scrambling because he's getting pressured sometimes, not just because he's getting his happy feet. and you need to be honest about that as a Denver Broncos fan.
Right.
Well, and look, there's football is so crazy and complex, right? Like there's O-line, quarterback, weapons, scheme. There's a ton of factors that are involved. And somebody I think Taino, he brought up PFF. I have a huge gripe against PFF, especially for offensive line play.
I'm the same.
It's damn near impossible. Just use your effing eyes, right? Richie, you're saying you're using your eyes, and you're like, hey, I don't care what people say. It's not good enough. You know what I mean? And to me, I can agree with that. But I also say that Sean needs to throw his quarterback some bones, and maybe that has to do with a big free agent acquisition. He needs that easy out. He needs that easy thing, and that's what. For my team, that's what Justin needed. He needed that easy out, and he didn't have it all season.
Yeah,
playing against his piss poor line.
I do everything off SpoTrack. I don't mess with PFF.
Well, PFF is good in other aspects.
Well, first because it's owned by Chris Collinsworth.
Which
who
one?
Dropped it. Chris Collinsworth is the owner of PFF.
Please don't tell me that's true.
That is true.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to look that up a little bit.
He is an owner or the owner, or at least he was when it started. And this is the dude that dropped the only chance the Bengals ever had to win a Super Bowl. He dropped a wide open pass, and this dude. And when you hear him commentating, he's just wrong all the time. So I don't even mess with it. Well, I track all the way.
I looked up. I think we talked about this like during the season. I looked up. They had like PFF how they watch each individual player at every game. I'm like, give me a break, dude.
It's all analytics, computer driven.
Yeah, it's a little too much for my liking.
It is. Yeah.
And
track is for real. Like this is what he did. This is every single play that he had. How many times an offensive lineman got beat on a pass rush? How many times a quarterback got pressured? All this stuff. And it's real.
But now this is where I'm getting at. Where us as fans, right, and fans in the chat, we have to just trust our eye. We watch our games, right?
Yes.
Unless we're completely inebriated, right? I'm watching my games. I don't know exactly what play's being called, but I'm trusting my eyes. We have that great camera angle that CBS or Fox puts out or NBC, and we see like, holy crap, dude, this guy just let some dude, free rusher right in, didn't even pick him up, right? And they get highlighted the next day. But what PFF, it's just way too analytical. They don't know what the plays, they don't know the scheme, they don't know what the defense. It's a little bit too much for that position. Now, I do like it for other positions. I think it's a great tool for other stuff.
It is a tool.
But for offensive line stuff, I don't know.
It's an absolute tool when it comes to offensive, defensive line. Absolute tool. You agree? It's a tool. I mean, a tool. Like
it shouldn't be the end-all, be-all, right? Let's just say that.
No, it's not. SpoTrack is for real. Because you can take their stats from a game and go back and watch video and go, oh, yeah, Max definitely sacked him and had sacked him 3 times and had 4 tackles for loss. And SpoTrack's accurate, because they actually watch the games and then report it to SpoTrack.
That's kind of why I was talking about that Sam Monson guy.
Yeah, it's a bunch of crap.
There's some guys, you just got to find them. You find them, they're out there. YouTube's a great tool. So is X. You find these guys that, who put in the time, who watch all 22, who know what they're talking about. That's fun too. Or you just trust yourself, right? Like, I can't trust myself. I don't know, every ins and outs. I don't pay for all 22. So there's some guys that I like to look after and watch.
SpoTrack, you can get on there free. It's easy. You can.
I think I've got like 4 of their tabs up right now.
So, Nav, I think you have the fewest free agents that you really want to talk about on your team. So let's just jump over to you and we'll finish out the show with DZ.
You sure?
Yes.
First, I want to tell all the Raider Nation that's in here, one, this is a show where we don't bring people on. Okay, we talk football and we go to the chat when available. But Jack Kendall said something a minute ago that I want to address. Them are not getting Linderbaum. Chargers and Raiders are going to war for Linderbaum. Okay, and that's up 9:12 p.m. Okay, first, we had Brennan Carroll as our offensive line coach. We had Carroll brothers in the building, along with Pete. JPJ, when he was playing at center, dominated that position. We do not need him. So therefore, I'm saying, me personally, I'm saying we don't need to do it.
That's what I've been saying. I mean, I'm not even a Raiders fan, but I'm like, you have JPJ. What's this whole going after Linderbaum when you could just spend that money on other places? Just get him back to his natural position.
Yeah, the narrative is that he doesn't communicate well on the offense. But let's find out how Kubiak feels about that when he, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure JPJ is going to be our center. So, hot take, JPJ is going to be the Raiders center. Just throwing it out there right now. Hot take. Okay?
And this is a good center draft, too.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, you can draft it. But, you know, you look at Will Campbell. This dude was, wasn't he their first-round pick?
Yep, yeah.
And he got destroyed. And a lot of Raiders fans were like, we want this guy. No, dude. This dude has no feet. He can't move worth a crap. And I think he's a little bit bigger than a tackle needs to be, a little heavier than he needs to be. I think he needs to drop a little bit of weight. I think he's like 330. I think he could probably do better at tackle at like 315. You know? Just to get his athleticism going a little bit. But anyway, so the free agents wise. So I may freeze because I don't know what's going on with my internet connection, but I'm going to flip to a tab so I can see the free agents. I do have them pulled up. So if I do freeze, don't worry. I think you can actually still hear me. Just can't see me, which most people will say is even better. So, all right. So unrestricted UFAs, we have Malcolm Kuntz, Jamal Adams, Landon Roberts, Devin White, Eric Stokes, Darnay Holmes, and Lonnie Johnson Jr. So of those dudes, I kick it around and I go, okay, Devin White, towards the end of the season, yeah, he started to do something. You know what I mean? And then Malcolm Kuntz actually started to freaking come off the edge and towards the last couple games. In fact, I think he's the reason we beat Kansas City in the last game of the season. So that's the unrestricted. Darnay Holmes, I don't know. I don't think so. That's a one-year guy. Eric Stokes played very well.
Yes, he did.
Lonnie Johnson, he got hurt early, but he was literally the pillar of the back end of that defense at that point.
It's going to be so wild, kind of to see what Kubiak does especially with these guys.
It's going to be crazy because I mean, I really can't definitively tell you what Kubiak's going to want to do. Because to be honest with you, here's what I would keep. What I would keep on the unrestricteds. Okay? I would keep Jamal Adams balled. He balled out every game he was in. Landon Roberts was touted as a linebacker to be like a pass game type linebacker, but he never really materialized into that. Eric Stokes was probably our best cornerback we had in the entirety of the season. And he was he wasn't hurt ever. He was in the game. So on offense, we also have these UFAs. So we have 18 unrestricted free agents. Okay, so Pickett, he's going to be gone. We already know that. I think he's already gone. Dylan Parham, Zamir White, Raheem Mostert, Lockett, and Ian Thomas at tight end. Ian Thomas is already gone. So, to be honest with you, Jamal Adams, I think we give him another run at it. And I think we actually make him a true linebacker instead of like just being a troll out in the freaking strong safety world.
So he was like a box safety, but you think you would just prefer him as a linebacker?
He was designated as linebacker, but he was all over the place. And I think Patrick Graham, good. I'm glad he's with the Steelers, dude. His defensive, our defensive scheme changed
I'll tell you this, Nav. Kubiak, watch what Mike McDonald did. You know, I think it's what they have in Baltimore, what they have in LA, and what they had in Seattle. They got that jack of all trades safety. What's the kid's name in Seattle? Amani Johnson,
yeah.
Yeah. Who is like a better Kyle Hamilton, essentially. Mm-hmm. And then Kyle Hamilton, and then there's Derwin James. They have these guys so I bet you Kubiak's like, all right, I like that style of defense. So if I'm going to put, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet that he's going to try to go with that type of scheme defense.
Well, he's going to hope for getting a defensive coordinator that wants that kind of scheme.
Right.
So I would assume that he's going to want the defense to be stout so that as an offensive play caller, he can kick field goals and feel good about that they're not going to get run down the field the very next drive.
Right.
Just like he did in the Super Bowl. So I assume that. So also on special teams, we have a couple unrestricted free agents. Daniel Carlson, that dude was an absolute complete failure last year.
Yeah, which was weird to see, man. He was so stellar.
I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? So I will tell you this. 7th round pick will be a kicker if this dude doesn't get squared away.
I mean, you can sign unlimited free agents as well, so I bet you they'll probably bring in a bunch of kickers.
Yeah, get anybody.
There's a lot of free agent kickers too. I've been this last week I've been going through Sport Track of every team's free agency. I think a lot of these like top kickers are all up for contracts. So if they want to bring in a really good guy or competition for Carlson, there's great opportunities this offseason.
The one thing that is common to the NFL, that's common to being in a league, right? Like for us to be in a league, right? Is that you change your kicker every week. It's not that big a deal. The one thing I want is a kicker that can kick 35-yard field goals, 19 for 19.
Yeah, you just want it like automatic clutch.
I just need a dude that's going to kick those from 39 yards every time.
Yep.
And Carlson was missing freaking extra points. He was missing I'm like, come on.
But that wasn't his game these last few seasons. So I don't understand what the heck happened to him. I wonder if he was injured or something.
I just hope that they can figure it out on that.
Yeah, I agree.
The thing about it is Jordan Meredith is a restricted free agent, which I think if JPJ goes to center, which I think is going to happen, Meredith at guard would not be a bad idea. I think we definitely extend him. Kai Blue Kelly's gone. Will Putnam's gone. Tristan McCollum's gone. Let's see, Spotrack's identified older veteran departures, whatever, dude. Let's see. Long snappers Jacob Bobenware, and he's staying. There's no question. I mean, he gets like freaking $5 a game or whatever. I don't know what a long snapper gets. But anyway, Ian Thomas is gone. So there, we also have a tight end on the practice squad. Don't ask me to look it up because it'll freeze my screen. But on defense, Malcolm Kuntz, he actually looked like the dude we drafted towards the end of the year. That dude was getting to the quarterback, and if he can come back, with the same way he was rolling at the end of the year, I think we keep Malcolm Kuntz. But I will tell you what, I've talked with the nation several times, just us, and it's like, look, if you're not on a rookie contract, your job's not safe.
Probably not.
There's pillars, right? And the funny part about it is there's only maybe two players that are not on a rookie contract that are pillars of the Raiders. Colton Miller and Max Crosby. Reality. That's reality. So what free agents do we keep? I don't know. Jamal Adams, I would keep him around because he flew around all over everywhere. He's making plays everywhere. Pretty much every game. His first couple games, he was trying to get used to what he was getting told to do. He was just flying around, just being a tackler. That's all they were asking him to do. Just go tackle, because we couldn't tackle. Yep. Well, that's up to you, Zigzag. You should get your Zigzag, roll you a doobie, and forget about the NFL. That's my thought. I've been a Raider fan since I was born. I've been an NFL fan since I was born. None of this crap is going to keep me from being a fan of the NFL. That's all. I mean, it's just that simple. At the end, at March 11th, we're going to have one quarterback sitting in the room.
I think if he's talking about what he's talking about, I think Jay-Z is in charge of Super Bowl shows. Mm-hmm. FYI, Zigzag. Jay-Z is the one who books and does the Super Bowls for the NFL. So that tells you what you need to know.
Well, all I'm saying is I don't care about the halftime shows.
Yeah,
I shut that off. I waited until the game came back on, then I got back on the game.
He did have a point, though. I totally didn't even think about that. Yeah, we are celebrating 250 years. Like, I'm surprised they didn't go with, like, some sort of...
You would have thought, and me and my wife talked about that. She goes,
I totally forgot about that. Damn.
I'm a little disappointed there wasn't Apollo Creed up there with his freaking USA boxing stuff going. You know what I mean? Like Apollo Creed would have been. You know what I mean? Something like that.
I'll tell you what, college games kill it with their marching bands. Like, I think that's probably the best halftime that for me personally. Everybody's got their own flavor, but I love watching some of these marching bands. You know, when they do their movements, and it is probably the most impressive thing. Sometimes better than the game.
It's as close to military coordination you'll ever see.
It's really cool. Really cool.
I mean, it literally is military coordination. It's formations. You know what I mean? It's way cool. And I'm with you. Me and the wife even talked about it. Why isn't this halftime show all about 250 years as an American?
Totally. Yeah, that totally slipped my mind, man. Good. I mean, I guess thanks Zigzag for bringing that up, because I totally forgot about that.
No, I agree with you. But the thing about it is, if you're not going to watch the NFL, cool, I'm with you. But the thing about it is, don't let that crap, the commercial side of things, change your mind about how passionate you are about your team. Don't do that. It's a business.
He brings up some points. I mean, we can get into this in other shows. We're getting kind of late, but like he brings up points. Like, one thing I'm not stoked on is international games, and they keep jamming that down our throats.
Oh, there's more of them. Now we're going to another country, are we not?
Yeah, it looks like Australia. It's going to
Italy next year, right?
Yeah, and then one of my players was just doing like some like what do you call it, like ambassador stuff in Greece. So there's going to be a game in Greece coming up, and who knows when that is. But yeah, I really honestly feel like the world could give a shit less about the NFL, but we keep shoving it down everybody's throats.
Yeah,
and it's just they just want that almighty dollar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So to finish off what I was talking about, yet another segue. Because we got into something else. I'm sorry, Richie. That's what we do. Jamal Adams, I would not hate keeping. And if we don't, we don't. That's cool. But Eric Stokes has earned his spot as a cornerback. Not cornerback one, but he's earned being a cornerback for the Raiders, I think.
You need a room of those, man. You need a bunch of them.
Yeah, Darnay Holmes, yeah, whatever. He's still not quite gotten there. Kenny Pickett, he's gone. We already know that. Dylan Parham is another one. It's really kind of going to depend on Colton Miller, really, on this dude. So it's whether Colton Miller is fully healthy or not as our left tackle. Dylan Parham will make a huge difference if we don't draft a tackle. I firmly believe Parham can go out there if needed. Raheem Mostert, he's a little bit older of a running back, but he is a bruiser, which is good to have in front of Genty. And Tyler Lockett comes from Seattle, which I can see him actually being retained because of Kubiak. I can see that.
That's a good point.
But I can see that happening. But the reality of it is, I want to. If I keep the unrestricted free agents, Kuntz, Adams, Stokes. That's it. So that's where I'm at on that. Then we can move forward. And I think DZ, now it's on you for free agents. It's not easy, bro.
Yeah. I think the Raiders are still, like we said, are in their infancy, so we got to see how this staff fills out before we can get a better idea of which direction they're going to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, so the Chargers are kind of a little farther along in their coaching because we did change offensive scheme-wise by bringing in Mike McDaniel. They did hire since the last show, looks like 5 more coaches, 2 on the defensive side and 3 on the offensive side. And I don't blame Mike McDaniel trying to get rid of, any of that Greg Roman staff. Looks like Max. So none of these are like confirmed by the team, but they're confirmed by a guy named Matt Zenitz, who is a reporter for CBS. He's the one that's been breaking all these, which is really cool. But on the defensive side, it looks like they're getting this guy named Jimmy Thompson. He was the Vanderbilt Nichols coach. Looks like he's going to be a defensive back coach with us. He's been getting a lot of DC college interest lately, so it looks like he wants to jump into the NFL. So it'll be kind of neat to see what he does. And then Julian, I don't know how to say his last name, Campini. He is going to be one of our assistant defensive line coaches. He was Rutgers outside linebacker coach. So, and I like this because this helps the staff kind of get a better look at some of these players that are upcoming in the draft. So when they're going with these young guys, they've kind of got like, okay, who do you got? Because for other fans outside Chargers, we only have 5 picks. So they're really going to have to find some gems in UDFA and free agency this year. And then on the offensive side, Max McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey's brother, who was a wide receiver, believe it or not, but he looks like he's going to come over here and become a running backs coach for the Chargers. He worked in Miami for the last 3 seasons. He's a young up-and-comer. Obviously,
Bill McCaffrey?
No, his son, Max.
Oh, Max.
Yeah, the least talented probably of the bunch, but so
Ed McCaffrey's son. Ed McCaffrey's
yes,
son.
sorry,
Ed McCaffrey's son. Yes.
Yeah, Ed.
Okay.
And then this one that came out of left field that had the fan base kind of going like, "What the WTF?" Adam Gase.
No shit.
That Adam Gase, the guy who rode off the coattails of Peyton Manning in Denver, and then just completely crapped the bed in New York. He is after go ahead, Rich.
Don't knock that coaching hire.
Well, I'm going to get into it, but go ahead.
Don't knock that coaching hire because I agree. He is not well suited to be a head coach. He is not well suited to kind of be in a system that he isn't like in a specific role. But I mean, I'll let you finish and then come back to me on that because I have some comments. Let's see where you're at.
I mean, it makes sense. Head coaches are meant to be head coaches. Coordinators are meant to be coordinators. They try it, they fail.
So there's different reporting on him. He had a 5-year absence, literally did nothing in these 5 years.
Been gone.
He did not. There's no college, no high school, no NFL work. This guy was at home doing nothing, and he doesn't have connections to Harbaugh that anybody's found or Mike McDaniel. People are like, okay, so who connected who and how did this happen? Mm-hmm. Anyways, now I'm either seeing he's going to be an assistant in the passing game or he's going to be the passing game coordinator. There's 2 different reportings. We don't know yet. And then one more coach. This one I'm kind of the most excited about is this guy that I didn't know anything about him until I found him, is Chandler Henley. He's been with the McDaniel for 4 seasons. He was their run game specialist, and he is all about the wide zone style and scheme. He was an assistant quarterback coach, so it looks like he's going to be the run game dude. And I've seen some clips of his and how he wants to do some stuff, and I'm actually pretty excited about him because I guess he's been in the coaching world, which I am not. He's been kind of like a hot name. And then, so that's, 5 coaches. They're still rounding out the staff. I don't know if that fills it, but we'll see. It's always neat to get some new ideas and some new faces into the organization.
What's your free agents you want to keep or get rid of?
Okay, so number one, they did it. They did the fan base a favor. Was Tier Tart. They made a mistake a couple seasons ago by letting Puna, letting him slip out and go to the Rams. Tier Tart has played exceptionally well. They re-signed him, as soon as the season ended. And, he's a 6'2", 315, dirty work kind of guy, not a pass rushing specialist, but just a dude that clogs up, make sure you're not running by him. And he's 28, and they signed him to a 3-year, $37.5 million deal. Everything I've looked up, people say they like that. So he was one of my top 3. And then I'm going to go for my number 1 is Odafe Owe. They've got to figure out a way to keep him in LA. And there's a lot of rumors with him that he could go back to Baltimore and chase Minter, because Minter is who unlocked him. Now, he was a first-round pick in 2021 for the Ravens. And this season, he, I think it was through 5 games or whatever, had 0 sacks. The Chargers traded a 5th-round pick for him, so pretty high capital. And he came over and had 7.5 sacks and then 3 sacks in the playoffs. So this guy, just turned it up. He flipped his script when he came to LA under Minter. 6'5". He floats between 250, 265. He's 27, so he's right at the, the height of his career. He played every game, but he's going to cost some money. I think they're saying like anywhere from 18 to 20 mil a season, but that's a guy I'd like to stick around and pair. Now, this style of defense that Minter brought over that they are going to still run with O'Leary, you need 3 edge rushers. And so to get another young guy with Thule, Odafe would be that guy. And now if you go with the third guy, it's Khalil Mack, and it's tied with a bunch of other guys. So Khalil spent 4 years with the Raiders, 4 years with Chicago, 4 years with the Chargers. Nobody knows if he's retiring next season or is he going to play another year? Are they going to convince him to come back? Because they've been bringing him back on these like 1 year, $18 million deals. I'd love him to come back. And if he doesn't, it's not the end all be all. There's the draft. And then you've got, not in any particular order, Zion Johnson, our left guard. Played really well this season, believe it or not. He's a free agent. He's a first-round guard. Kimani Vidal, who I think is going to be a plus in this scheme. He had to step up in a big way, especially when what's his name went down? Najee Harris. Najee Harris, you guys all remember, blew one of his eyes out and then blew his Achilles out. I feel terrible for the guy because he was hitting his stride this season, and then just someone pulled the rug out from underneath him. And then there's a couple other guys, some older guys. Tony Jefferson, I'd love to have back. He's found the fountain of youth somehow. I have no clue. The guy's like, let me see how old he is. I think Tony's 34, man. And he's been playing like he is 25. I'd love to bring him back. And you got Denzel Perryman, Raider fans know who he is, and then Delshon Phillips. The Chargers have 25 free agents, and 20 of those are unrestricted free agents. And a lot of those guys on the offensive side, I could see gone. I don't think they're bringing back, a lot of these guys because McDaniels is going to want to switch it up. They're going to be running different types of schemes. There's guys who really weren't that good this year at all, especially on the offensive side. But, we've got our long snapper who's going to be 37 years old. And then I looked up
spring
earlier,
chicken.
Yeah, right. He's really good, but he got hurt this season. He got hurt this season.
To me, he's a youngster.
Something weird happened to him this season, and he was missing for a large portion. So he might be gone. They might be like, yeah, man, we can't have you pulling some sort of. I think he had like an abductor surgery. I have no clue.
Oh, abductor's bad.
Yeah, but sucks. I mean, as a long snapper, like you really don't have many excuses, right?
Yeah, but damn, an abductor, it's like from like hiking to standing up has got to be bad.
Yeah, I think he made like a bad tackle or something in the beginning of the season, and then he was just gone.
That's good. Gotta love your long snapper making good tackles. That's
yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see. Just like with everybody else's teams, it's going to be interesting to see which direction they go, and try to bring back. They did say they talked about like, hey, we want to bring back our guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and they want to keep that Minter style of defense with Chris O'Leary. He's going to put his little flavor on it. They want to put that on there. And then on the offensive side, everything I'm hearing from the beat writers that follow the team, that have inside knowledge, is that supposedly, fingers crossed, they're going all in on the offensive side of the ball, offensive line side. Now, whether that means that's free agency or the draft, who knows? and they're going to probably need some more weapons. Maybe they bring some over from Miami. I'm not sure. But, I left the one big guy out, and I know we need to wrap this up, is Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen says he would like to come back, but look.
Do it.
This is where I'm going to say is I think Keenan – if he comes back on the cheap, sure. But I'm at the point where I think Keenan is taking away some development from some other guys that we need to step up. Ladd had a really bad year, and that just so happened to be that Keenan was there kind of taking his role away. We have Trey Harris, who's an up-and-comer in the wide receiver role. This team's going to need another young or going to need another tight end. So it looks like Richie, he wants a tight end. I think the Chargers are going to look for another tight end. They're going to probably get rid of Will Dissly. It's going to be interesting to see what I've said interesting like a million times tonight, but I'm always fascinated, especially with a whole new offensive scheme, like which route they go, because running a zone scheme, a wide zone scheme, those O linemen, that changes now from the O line that they've brought in these last 2 years. That changes up quite a bit because now you need O linemen who are going to be running screens. Miami, I think, ran like 72 screens last year with A-Chain, and Greg Roman ran like 7 all of last season.
Right. But Miami also wasn't very good.
No.
No.
Pretty
much all they had.
Yeah. A-Chain was a stud, but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, before we wrap it up, I know, Richie, I know you're about ready to wrap it up, but Dan Kraken put a comment up here, if you don't mind. Who you mean? You mean Kubiak didn't show up for the parade in Seattle? I found that very rude. He made it very clear he was going back to Seattle for the parade. He made it very clear in his introductory press conference that he was going to go back for the parade. So I'm not sure what you're saying, but I will ask you this. I lived in Washington for 21 years. Okay. Long before the Seahawks even sniffed the Super Bowl. And I'm going to ask you this. How long you been a Seahawks fan? Because I'm going to tell you what, didn't see any Seahawks jerseys until the run to the very first Super Bowl that they ever even sniffed. So I have a little bit of a problem with what you're saying here. If you're talking about Kubiak made it very clear in his press conference that he was leaving the Raiders building after the press conference and was going back to be at the parade. So I'm not really sure what you mean.
It's possible. Well, it's possible that there may have been some pre-photo op stuff that is a natural, unfortunately, conflict when someone is named a head coach. And by the way, this happens all the time. McDonald and those other guys that ended up in the Super Bowl and stuff, where they were then hired on as head coaches and stuff elsewhere. A lot of their schedules conflicted, like with the parades that happened, and then their pressers as being head coaches and stuff, because the teams were waiting. There's just a lot of natural conflicts that take place as a result of just the straight timing of it, where they miss some of the initial photo ops because they can't make it back in time after their initial presser. But it is actually detrimental to them and their legacy if they don't go back for those parades, because it just reflects poorly on them.
I know 100% he can't be talking about Kubiak, because I have video that the dude was there in the parade, pictures with the entire coaching staff and the whole 9 yards. Must be talking about somebody else.
What I'm referring to is sometimes there's some preemptive photo ops. And sometimes the guys can't make it back for those just due to the pressers and stuff for the head coaching gig. But anyways, we're going to get into on more positional breakdowns of each of our teams as we get more into.
I agree.
Who's your staff going to be? What's this going to look like? What do you think the schemes are going to be? And for Nav, it's I don't know. And then and if I'm going to be honest, even for my Broncos, there's a certain amount of uncertainty because we don't know what the true carryover is going to be between the Sean Payton offense and what Davis Webb's going to bring to the table. And DZ, you have a defensive coordinator change there in Minter, who's got his head coaching opportunity.
That was bad. That hurt. That hurt.
Like that is a legitimate loss, and you have no idea what the next DC is going to require or need, or any of that kind of stuff.
The fact that they're probably going to have the youngest DC in the league next year, like that they have that much faith in. But then I'm hearing that this is something that the Harbaughs have done is they see a guy, a rising star, they send him to college to get experience, and then they bring him back.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I guess this isn't the first, but this is the earliest this has happened.
John's done it twice. John's done it twice with the Ravens.
So it's interesting. They have a lot of faith, but it's kind of a gamble. I mean, This is the NFL. This isn't the MAC, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even coaching in the Big Ten or the SEC.
No.
This is the MAC. I mean,
yeah.
But so the NFL is a whole different ball game. You got to be you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's. It's got to be perfect. Yeah. So I am a little low key worried about it.
Well, DZ, what kind of dude would you be if you got that opportunity? How hard of a worker would you be?
Oh, you'd have to be a psychopath, right? You're not sleeping.
I don't see my wife or kids ever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's the good thing that he's young, that he can afford that time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, that'll do it for the show today. We've covered a lot of stuff there. We're going to cover a lot more ground as we get into the offseason, free agent signings, future picks, projections, rumors, all that good stuff. We're going to get right into it all. And then we'll start getting into positional breakdowns and comparing the four teams in the AFC West, kind of see where we're all at, that sort of thing. A whole bunch of interesting and very cool stuff. The one thing I will say, though, is you think that the season is over and you got a whole boatload of time between now and when the next thing's going to happen. You are sorely mistaken. There is a ton of stuff that's going on. Yeah. And that's what makes the NFL so fun and what makes us doing this such a blast for us to get on with you. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for joining the show tonight. This is the AFC West or the Wild Wild West here. Go ahead.
Richie, if I may, I want to say something. Thank you guys for having me on. This is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun talking with you guys. We're not like nipping each other's necks and stuff. We're just talking about what our teams are doing. But I'll tell you what, last year I said the AFC West is going to be the number one division in the NFL, and I was wrong. But I will tell you what, welcome to the nation, Coach Kubiak.
Yeah.
And things might actually come to fruition maybe a little year late, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Welcome
I think
to the Raiders Mendoza. Hot take.
Yeah. So I just think that we're going to be in for some interesting news as the time goes on, all that good stuff. So anywho, guys, we will move on and we will see you next week. We're going to have a whole host of new topics. We'll get those posted in advance of the show so you kind of know what we're going to be talking about. Bring your notes, bring your comments. See you next week. Peace.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast's racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute,